Hello guys, welcome to this video. In today's video, we want to discuss JavaScript primitive data types. This is the continuation of our previous video. If you've not watched the previous video, I'll drop the link on the description box below or you click on the icon above. In JavaScript, a primitive data is the data that is not an object and has no method or properties on them. Don't be confused with this. For instance, if we have a variable like file name equals to John, like so, if we console log this, like console.log type of name, if we check this out on the console, like so, just open my browser for now and refresh this. Okay, we'll miss the spelling, we'll go back there, console. Okay, if we refresh this, you will see that it's a string and it has no method attached to it or attribute. For now, but if I bring an object like something like person, person equals to, let's just say, open like this and say name equals to name, like so, Peter, like so. Let's just keep it this way and we'll still go back here. Let's console log Peter console.log person like so. If we go back to the browser and check, right? If we expand this, right, you can see some other stuff on them, like some properties and method and action. We get like kids method, we have set method, and we have toString and all this stuff. So there's a very big difference between this and this. So primitive data type like so does not have properties and method. Like the properties of this object is name, which is Peter, right? And if you look back to this string we declared John, it has no any other properties on them. It's just a type of string, right? Even though we console log the name like so, same way we do here, name like so, and check, you just see John. You will not see any properties or any method attached to them. So this is what we mean by primitive data types. They do not have any properties and methods on them. That's right. In JavaScript, we have 7 data types, which are, I'll list them. We have one, we have string data type, which is a primitive data type. This is a sample of string. A string is a sequence of characters. So this is just a sample of string. It does not have this. And we have number two, we have number as data type, primitive data type, and we have third one, big data, big int rather, like so. Also, we have boolean, boolean data type, as well as we have undefined, undefined as data type. Okay, let me just bring it to lowercase. Okay, so we still have symbol as a data type. And last one, we have null. These are the 7 primitive data types we have in JavaScript. These data types do not have properties or method in them. Example is this. In that same frame, if I declare another variable like price score equals to 600, right? If I console log this, console.log score, like so, would still have the same thing. If I refresh this, would still have only 6. This is a number, right? So it's seen as a primitive data type in programming. These are the different data types. So we'll talk of undefined. It's just initializing a variable, like in terms of declaring a variable and we initialize it to like there's nothing in it. Like there's nothing. Okay. So these are the data types we have in JavaScript. The next concept I want us to look at is control flow or control structures in programming. A normal execution of code follows line by line, like one after the other without skipping anything, right? But in programming, there are some times you want to do some stuff repeatedly. Just if, as in, do one thing like two, three, four times based on the event. So, control structure will help us to check some conditions and perform a specific thing. Because in programming, there are sometimes you don't want to perform a specific task or you don't want a specific code to execute based on a condition. So, since programming execute line after line, the only way we can work with that in programming is to use control structures like if statement, whereby if a condition is true, that's only when a block of code will be executed. Let's look into it. We want to look at if statement. If statement, okay, if statement takes this structure, if we type if, we will have if, then we'll have parentheses which have this word condition in it, and we have this curly braces. This curly braces from here to here is called a block of code. Any code are inside here. So we can now write our code inside here. What happened is we supply a condition into this parenthesis, and when the condition in the parenthesis is evaluated to true, any code we write inside here will be executed. Let me zoom this in a little. Okay, how can we get this done? Okay, for instance, I have let's say I declare a variable like late late position. Position is equals to 2, right? I might want to check this position. I might want to add 1 to position, like something like position plus 1, so that this position will change. How will I do that? I only want to add it if position is only 2, right? So for that, if statement comes in, I'll bring up a condition, right? That when once this condition is evaluated to truth, this position will be added. So one of the condition can be if position is equals to 2, let this thing happen. Like let me add 1, position equals to position plus 1, like so. So this, when once this condition is evaluated to truth, this code inside here will be executed. But if it is not, if it is false, rather, nothing will happen. This code will not execute. this line will just jump off. So in between these parentheses, we can write millions of code on them. Let's test this. First of all, I would like to console log this condition out here so that we can see if the condition is true or false. I copied this, I just paste it straight away. So let's go straight to the browser and check. Let me comment out this and comment out this. Okay. Good. So on the browser right away, I'll just refresh my browser. You can see that the condition is true. So let's try and console log the position as well down here to see if the position have been added or not. Now, when once the condition is true, this position 1 will be added to the initial position, which is 2. So let's check it out straight away. 3. We can see that the position has been added. Initial value was 2. Then when this condition is true, this execute. 1 will be added to the position. Then we'll now be able to have 3. What if the condition is true? It's not true. So let's change this position to like 4. So position, which is 4, is not equals to 2 at this stage. So this condition is supposed to return false, right? So this code is supposed not to run. That means the position will still remain 4. That means 1 will not be added to the position. Let's check it out straight away. I refresh this. You see, the condition is false and position still remain 4. So this is one of the ways we can use to do a specific stuff in programming if and only if a certain condition is met. Okay, let's continue. What if the position is not true, as in the condition is not true, we can decide to do another thing. That's when we have else statement, else, right? Like so. So if this condition is true right away, right? If this condition is true, this block of code will execute. That reminds me, you can have up to million lines of code inside here, but it's always a good practice to segment your code so that it will be readable, right? If this condition is not true, automatically this else statement will execute. That means any condition or any code in this else statement will execute. We might say if position is equals to 2, right? Okay. If position is equals to 2, we should add, let's say, 5 to position, right? Else, if position is not equals to 2, let us add 10 to position. So let's do position plus position. Position equals to position, position plus 10, like so. Okay, that reminds me. Okay, let's just check it out and see what will happen. So if this condition is not true, if this condition is not true, right, this particular condition will execute. That means what we're supposed to expect is 14, right? Because position, which is 4, is not equals to 2. So let's check it out straight. We have it as it's supposed to be. This is how we handle if statement. We can do complex stuff with this. As a matter of fact, if statement is one of the basic concepts in programming. It plays a very vital role when you're building real applications. So your ability to be able to come up with a condition that meets what you want to do is better, your application will function well. Okay, that's right. Okay, in our previous video, we did a mini calculator that takes some values and perform addition to it and subtraction. In this same video, we'll want to modify that calculator using if statement to make it a little bit flexible for people that use it. Before we do that, what if you still have many other conditions to execute apart from just one condition and doing one thing? This can take us to what we call else if statement in programming, whereby if you can supply up to 50 to as many conditions you want to supply to it, and it will still work. Okay, so let's check. So what if we say position is equals to 2? Let it do this one. We want to add 5 to it. If position is not equals to 2, maybe is equals to 5, we want to add 10 to it, to the position. If position is equals to 10, we want to add 15 to position. In that case, we have multiples of conditions, but we need to find a way to do that. That takes us to else if statement in programming. So in else if statement, initially we must have if statement first that start if this is equals to this, let position be added, let 5 be added to the position rather. So we can still have else if would still bring up a condition as well. We need to supply the second condition here, right? And still have our position written here. So let's do it. Else if position, sorry, else if position is equals to 5, right? We want to add 10 to position. So position equals to, remember before we did position equals to position plus 5, but this time we want to use shorthand like position plus 10. Position plus 10. Okay, like so. Position plus 10. We'll supply 5 here. Let's check if this worked out. We're supposed to have 10 plus 5, that's 15. Sorry, position plus equals to 10. Let's check it out. We have 15 right away. Sorry, I missed it. Position plus equals to. So this is the shorthand of writing this. Instead of going this long way, you can just do this. So even though we short this, you write this or you write this, is still good. This is short way of writing this. Okay, with this, we can have many other multiple conditions attached to this. Else if this is equals to this, we still supply position. Let's see position equals to 10. Want to add want to add position plus equals to 15. Want to add 15 to position. So these are the ways we can do this, and we'll handle different kinds of stuff. You can bring up as many else if statement as possible and supply different conditions to it, and it's still going to work fine. So in this case, let's work with the calculator we built before and see how we can make use of if else statement to do some cool stuff. Permit me to do away with this. Okay, now it was a simple calculator that performs addition, multiplication, and subtraction. But the modification we want to do is so person can be able to select whether he wants to do multiplication, addition, or subtraction. So in that case, we're going to have some variable. The steps involved is first of all, tell the user get input from the user, num1 rather number one from the user, get number two, tell the user to enter number two from the browser, and tell the user to enter the mask type and perform perform the maths. Okay, this just what we need to do in a rundown of this simple project. Okay, first of all, how are we going to get the numbers from the user? We can make use of prompt as we did in the previous video. So let's just go it straight away. So we can use const one equals to prompt. Okay, so what we'll write is enter number one. So in the same way, before we continue, right, as we said in the previous video, this is what will happen. Let's console log it, console.log, console.log num1, like so. So let's check what will happen in the browser. If we do this, we'll get this pop-up. If you enter 50 and type, we'll get the 50 here stored in this variable. But if we check this, we're going to see that, let's say type of, we're going to see that is a is not a number. And for you to perform arithmetic operations, it must be a number. If you check the type of, let's say we enter 80, enter, you see the type is string. So we have to convert it to a number type so we'll be able to perform addition and multiplications with them. To do that, I'm just going to wrap the entire of this prompt with what we call pass float. Okay, let's make it generic that way. Pass float. Then I'm going to pass in prompt. If we do console.log again, we're going to see that type of is giving us a number type of num1. If we go back to the browser and enter 700 like so, I missed the spelling. Let's check console.log. Okay, let's go back there again. 700. See, we have number now, so we can perform the operations. So we're going to do this for 3 times, right? Base and paste. This should be num2, and this we're going to have enter number two. And on this type, for us to be able to know which type of mathematical operations the person want to perform, we need to find a way to know from the person, because different person will want to use different mathematical operations at the same time. So we're going to have a variable that is named mass type, mass underscore type. This variable will just be like um, an indicator as part of our conditions. So we can say enter one for math for addition, comma, two for subtraction, comma, and three for multiplication. Okay, like so. We have this setup. Okay, with this we can be able to track. That means if anybody enter one, that means the person want to perform addition. If the person enters two, that means the person wants to do subtraction, and so on. So with this, we now be able to get this from the person. So next thing we can do is to use if statement and say if max type, which is what we just call it, max underscore type, is equals to 1. From here, we know that the person wants to perform addition. So we can just do num1 plus num2. num2 like so, right? And we can return the answer, right? Console.log. We can make a generic answer up here. Let's just say, late answer answer equals to 0 initially, right? Okay. So for now, we can just say answer answer equals to this, right? Okay. So we're going to use else if the person types the num a mass type to be 2, else if mass type is equal to 2, that means the person wants to perform subtraction. So I can just grab the whole of this and drop it here, and this is going to be subtraction right away, right? Okay, the same thing we can do this again for multiplication. Max type is equals to 3. That means the person wants to do multiplication right away. Okay, so at the very end, we can just say the answer is console.log, console.log. Okay, I use inverted comma. The answer is, then I'll go with dollar sign, open this. The answer is answer. I'll pass in answer right away. Okay. So with this, we have been able to track what the person wants to do using if statement. This is the typical applications of if statement in programming. So it's used in programming for critical cases like this. So if we run this program on the browser straight away, let's cross our fingers and see if it's running fine. So if we type 800 like so, then type 920 and hit on enter, you're going to be asked of this mass type. Remember, our condition is based on this mass type and the person cannot skip it. Okay, let's say we enter 1 for addition. So let's cross our finger. Good. The answer is 1720. Good. Okay, we can see the addition of the two numbers we get it here. So let's check it again for subtraction. We enter 80 right away, and we enter 40 right away, and we enter 2 because 2, like here, is for subtraction. Then if we do next, there's a problem there that assignment to constant is not variable. So let's go and check what happened. 2, oh, sorry, this supposed to be equals to, not simple equality sign is known for assignment but not for comparison. Okay, let's go back again and check it out. Okay, let's enter 80 straight away, 20 this time, and we enter 2 straight away. We can see that 20 has been minus from 80, and this is cool. Everywhere is going fine. The same with last one, multiplication. Okay, for multiplication, let's use 2 plus um 4 plus 2 rather, then we pass in 3 for multiplication straight away. The same thing, we have a problem there, similar thing here, so we just have to correct that and go back and check it out. 4 multiplied by 2, the answer is supposed to be 8 when we enter 3 for multiplication. Good, everywhere is going fine. Okay, the greatest tips I want to give you when you are trying to test your software, make sure that you use a familiar cases where you know. In this case, like if we want to test if our software is working, we can start with like 4 as the first number and 2 as the second number in addition, which is 1. In this case, you already know what they are so that you'll be able to evaluate if your program or your software is working fine. So use the cases that you are so familiar with to test your software. Yes, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. And please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please just subscribe to my channel so when I upload new video, you'll be notified. On our next video, we'll be talking about other concepts like while loop, for loop, and how to manipulate array. Like, comment, and drop a comment for me on the comment section below. Thank you. See you in the next video.